let's talk emotional state, because emotional state of mind is a critical element towards any goal, to overcome any adversity, to overcome any challenge, to maybe defuse a situation even. Many of us, we find anyways, many of us tend to make decisions or ask these critical questions in, I'm going to say, a negative emotional state. If you had a couple of suggestions for anybody listening that might be facing an adversity about their emotional state, what to do, how to maybe get out of it prior to asking these critical thinking questions, because, I mean, it all comes back to how we perceive what's going on. And if we can't step out of it, we're never really going to ask the right questions because we're so involved and we're emotionally attached to it. What suggestions would you have to somebody that's saying, you know what, I'm facing adversity and I need to get out of it. This is what I'm asking myself.
And that's a great question, Dan, because a lot of people will get caught up and it's like a downward spiral of emotional negativity. It's like almost like they're acting out of the anger, and for them to say, I don't want to get out of this, or I'm going to ask these questions, but they're already in that state, so they're going to bring more of that state. First of all, go back to the little exercise that we did. Think of your favorite color, put your hand to your heart. You do that for the next 30 days, it's going to train you to obviously feel better. So you're going to learn how to feel good most of the time. And that's what you're going for, is you're learning how to feel good. You're learning how to say, I can handle anything. So you don't want to just like do a one-off and say, this isn't working. You have to be open to the fact that, you know, you do something like that little technique and you do it for the next 30 days. And those little things make the big difference. So when the stuff that does come up really is highly emotional, you're already going to handle it. You learn how to handle it. Athletes do that so well because they practice every day, and then they learn how to handle those high pressure situations. With regards to, say, a specific 3 steps that I use, I call it the 3 R's: relax, reprogram, recharge. The most powerful way that somebody can change their state in regards to the simplest way, but it's so often overlooked, is to breathe. And what I say by that, you don't have to worry about breathing through your nose, breathing through your mouth, but just take a deep breath in. It's basically a conscious awareness that anytime that you have an emotional state that is not serving you, in fact, it serves you by the sense of saying you got to change that state, is to breathe in. The first thing when I get people up on stage to hypnotize them is to sit down and then to take a deep breath. And taking a deep breath just does an amazing thing, because physiologically, when you breathe in, you're relaxing. If people are in a highly negative charged emotional state, they're usually shallow breathing and they're uptight instead of breathing in. So the first thing is you want to take a breath, and a big breath, just to catch yourself. So that's the relax. Reprogram is anything that you do to make yourself feel good. And that's all a reprogram is. So you can move your body real quick. You can put a big smile on your face. That's also a powerful tool just to get yourself to shift your emotional state. You can laugh at yourself, start giggling. You can say an affirmation, something that switches your state or switches your self-talk. And an affirmation is just that, is what you're saying to yourself. And it usually is an I or I am statement. So you're owning who you are. You're actually saying who you are. One way I like to create affirmations is through alliteration. And I'll give you an example. And it's just a fun technique of doing it, is 3 particular words that start with the same letter that are fun. So I am calm, confident, and have a cheerful state of mind. Start with the letter C. I'm wonderful, wealthy, and wise. I'm bold, brilliant, and beautiful. And I know that sounds, for some people, like, can they do that? Because it sounds like they're pumping themselves up. And that's exactly what you're doing. You should be owning who you are, being proud of it, and having fun doing it. So again, those are just some of the reprogramming things that we've talked about, and a few things that I just mentioned there. And the last part is simply to recharge, is just to notice your emotional state. Are you where you want to be? Or are you feeling better? That's a better way to gauge it. Are you just feeling better than where you were? And when you feel relaxed, when you're feeling peaceful, those are all emotional states that are feeling better. So another example is that, relax, reprogram, recharge. A lot of times people stuff their feelings, or they avoid confrontation, they avoid feeling angry, but they feel hopeless. Now, if you look at the scale of emotional indicators, that hopelessness is actually at disempowerment as opposed to being angry. So when you feel angry, you feel this charge, you feel this sensation. So it's at a better state than being hopeless and in a state of desperation. So people have to just become aware of the fact that feeling your feelings, there's no harm to that. It's actually embracing them, but stuffing your feelings down, it's disallowing you to express yourself and to really start to get to a better feeling state. So that's also an important part of your emotional state, is knowing that when you just feel hopeless, anger is better than feeling hopeless, is to work yourself up that scale so you feel better, you feel empowered, till you get to that point of peace, tranquility, because it doesn't happen usually in a snap of the finger. It's something you work at, you train yourself, and it takes practice like anything else.